and the midnight message she forgot to erase. It started with a notification I wasn't supposed to see. Her phone lit up at 2:07 a.m., screen flashing in the dark like a lighthouse that had lost track of its shoreline. I wasn't looking for anything. I was just thirsty, just passing by the dresser with a glass of water in my hand when I caught it. Can't stop thinking about earlier. Same time next week. The message dissolved back into the lock screen before I could blink. The room was quiet, except for her breathing, slow and even, the sound of someone who had already rehearsed innocence in her dreams. I stood there too long, glass sweating in my palm, waiting for courage to tell me which was worse, to wake her and ask, or to carry the weight of pretending I hadn't seen. We were meant to be ordinary. On Sundays, I iron pillowcases because flat cotton feels like a promise heat can keep. She sleeps with her palms spread over my ribs like she's taking attendance of my breath. Our balcony forgives being too narrow for two chairs by letting us take turns and calling it choreography. When rain comes after midnight, we crack the window and let the city wash its face while we wash each other's. Her knee hooking behind my thigh with sailor's certainty. My mouth finding that nickel-bright coin beneath her collarbone, where breath confesses it wants to be fire. But the message glowed hotter than fire. Evidence is a hobby for men who wish they were wrong. I began a folder on my laptop named Weather. Inside went the small things. A new perfume bottle half hidden in her drawer. The scarf I'd never seen before folded with seminar precision. The credit card receipt for a hotel bar she'd never mentioned. And now this. 2 lines of text, burned into memory because I couldn't unsee them. She had started showering in the dark, telling the mirror she had migraines. She left dinners early, smiling with her lips but not her teeth. Her phone learned a new chime at 12:06 and 12:11, too polite to be coincidence. "London," she said when I asked once. "Their morning keeps trespassing on my midnight." I told myself silence was discipline, but silence kept becoming surrender. At Harbor Line a week later I saw him. A jawline that practiced anonymity, a slate jacket tailored for confessions. When the bartender asked a question, he raised 2 fingers without touching the air and something clear obeyed. His smile was a curtain thin enough for light to slip through. He didn't look at me. He didn't have to. I ordered the cheapest beer the room rescented and tipped like apology. The bartender didn't forgive me. That night in bed, she crossed her knee behind my thigh and guided my hand beneath her shirt like a host turning on a lamp she trusted. We moved with the fluency of people who know their lines and still want applause. In the middle, her eyes went elsewhere, and when she returned, they carried apology penciled along the edges. Pencil erases clean if you don't press. I pressed anyway. At 2:11 a.m., the doorbell camera announced, face recognized, Milo. 30 seconds of grain, his cheek leaning too close, her shadow slipping past like someone who knows how to walk without waking mugs. The latch gave the sound of surrender. Sunday wanted witnesses, courage likes even numbers. I asked her brother and our friend Nadia to come for pasta. The apartment smelled like garlic telling the truth. We laughed, plates carried themselves. After, I mirrored the doorbell clip to the television. The rectangle did its neat geometry around the stranger's jaw. "We should talk privately," she said instantly. "We will," I said, "but I need witnesses that I didn't dream a welcome." They left us to be a room. She picked up her phone and scrolled like someone pulling a thorn. The message thread blinked up at her, the words I already knew, can't stop thinking about earlier. Same time next week. She didn't delete it, not this time. "I told myself it was a hallway," she said finally. "Somewhere I could stand without a tour guide. I liked the echo." "Is he married?" I asked, because bureaucracy steadies grief. Separating, she said. A daughter, 7. Do you love him? The word is small until it sits down and brings its chair. She looked at the ceiling crack that refuses to pick a direction. I love who I am when I stop narrating. With you, I started describing myself from outside, like I owed footnotes to every heat. He turns the placards around and says he believes the painting without the text. I loved us like architecture, she added, quiet. I wanted weather. We're going to separate, I said. The sentence felt like a key nobody would cut again. She nodded with relief I refused to rename cruelty. Do you want me to go now? I want the door to forget his face, I said. Pick a door, I'll take the other. Leaving photographs itself as quick, but houses let it linger. She took the hoodie, the charger that fits everything, and the scent that had trained corners to behave. She left the scarf folded into weather, the candle that pretends to be the moon, and the phone that had forgotten how to erase. At the threshold, she lifted her hand toward my wrist, the old code, and changed her mind midair. The absence landed better than touch. I was happy, she said, and greedy and afraid and sorry. You were alive, I said. So am I. The lawyer's office smelled like paper and old rain. She asked if I wanted an outcome or a scene. Outcome, I said, surprising myself. Back home, I reset the lock, taught the doorbell only my face, and opened windows until the curtains forgot her perfume. The plant on the landing forgave me when I slid the spare key back into its dirt. Because endings itch, I opened her phone one last time. The message still waited there, polite and persistent. Same time next week. I pressed delete, and for once it obeyed. Now, when rain comes after midnight, I still crack the window to let the city wash its face. I iron pillowcases on Sundays because some promises keep themselves if you heat them right. Sometimes I press my thumb to the thin place on my wrist and answer myself. Here, here, here. The doorbell hasn't learned any new faces since. The phone asks if I want to improve recognition by sharing clips. I tell it no. Some memories deserve to stay erased. Some nights, that's enough.